Hi there. This technique is called Ujjayi, which means ocean breath or Victorius breath technique. So the reason for ocean breath is that it mimics the sound of the ocean as the waves build up momentum and then it crashes onto the shoreline. So it's a beautiful rhythmic sound and motion that we will be learning to tap into in order to still our nervous system. But before we get into the details of the practice, let's just talk about the disclaimers of who shouldn't practice this breath technique. So as always, it's advised that if you have any serious medical conditions, you should avoid any pranayama practices unless it's under the supervision of a breath practitioner. And apart from that, there's a specific exclusion for this particular technique for those that are pregnant. You should not practice it, as well as if you have low blood pressure, any heart conditions, as well as epilepsy. And even if you don't have any of these conditions, please practice this technique very slowly. And if you feel any discomfort at any point in time, please stop it immediately, because it's all about like assessing the impact that it has on your mind and your body, and you need to be patient and slow with it. And apart from that, it's also advised that you always only practice a new breath technique in isolation, at least for a minimum of a week, but ideally for a couple of weeks, just to assess the impact that it has on your mind and body before you add on another breath technique into the mix. Okay, so now since we got all of that out of the way, let's just talk about the exciting benefits that this technique offers. So what it actually does is it helps to send more oxygen into the blood, and so it helps to balance out the cardiorespiratory system, and it also helps to boost the immune system. And apparently it's also really good if you snore. So I'll be curious to see if that works. So let me know in the comments if you've had any positive effects from the practice. And then also it's said that it helps with thyroid problems, and some Olympic athletes have actually tried out this technique to help out with respiratory efficiency. So it's really good in terms of calming your nerves and your anxiety levels as well. Okay, so now we can get into the technique itself. So I'd like you to sit comfortably on a chair or on any surface, and you can choose to close your eyes or keep them open. It's up to you really. And I'd like you to just take a deep breath in and out. And let's take another deep breath in and out. Okay, so now that we are all comfy and a bit centered, let us get into the practice. So what I need you to do is this is just a practice or a trial round, and it's not what's really going to happen, but I just need you to get accustomed to the sound that you will have to generate with your mouth closed. So first I'd like you to try making the sound with your mouth open, just so you understand what you are aiming for. So I'd like you to make the sound as if you are trying to fog up a mirror, right? So it sounds like this. Let's do that again. Take a breath in. So immediately what comes to mind is that it sounds like a wave that is gently crashing onto a shoreline, right? So what we now want to practice is the in breath, which is the momentum that the wave makes as it's building up to then crash onto the shoreline. Okay, so it would sound something like, it almost kind of feels like when you are snoring, I guess. So here we go. You hear that? And then on your out breath, let's try to make that sound with your mouth now closed. Let's do that again, and keep your tongue gently onto the roof of your mouth. Let's do that again. And that's it. It's really simple. So to get into the rhythm of things, it's advised that you practice this technique for a couple of minutes at a time. And what you could do is breathe in for a count of 5 and then hold it for a count of 3. And then on your out breath, breathe out to the count of 5. So let's do that for a couple of times before we close up this technique. Okay, so let's go. Let's breathe in for a count of 5. Hold for 3. And then breathe out for 5. Let's breathe in again for 5. And then hold for 3. And then breathe out for 5. And then breathe in again for 5. Hold for 3. And then breathe out for 5. Okay, so what this technique actually does is, on your in-breath, when you constrict your throat, what it does is it triggers your vagus nerve, which runs at the base of your spine all the way to your gut. And it's almost as if it's a panic button where it, presses the base of your spine, and then it immediately sends signals to the rest of your body to just relax completely. So it's really an excellent technique for an immediate stress relief, for frustration, for anger, as opposed to some of the other techniques which helps you to generate more energy. So I challenge you to actually try out this technique and see what benefits arise for you, but it definitely helps me to calm my entire systems down. And it's excellent because you can practice this at any time during the day. So thank you so much for joining my sharing today. And you are more than welcome to listen on to the next part of this clip, where I actually have a video of the ocean, and you can tap into the sounds of the waves as it builds up momentum and then it crashes onto the shoreline. So I'd like you to just tap into that motion, into that sound, and practice your breath technique as you do so. So looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.